what the haters talking about.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I'm here with the one and only, my homeboy, my good friend, my respected partner in crime, Mr. Willie D. How you doing today, man?
I'm splendid. How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling doubly splendid, and a little bit confused. You brought to my attention some stuff about Denzel Washington, and everybody who's watching, I'm going to try to sort of show you and let you guys know what's going on with Denzel. But basically, Denzel, he said something that was really interesting, potentially controversial. At least I know the conservative media outlets picked up on it, and they asked him about the criminal justice system. People know that he's got this new movie coming out where he plays a black lawyer. I think it's Roman J. Israel. And they asked him about, say it again.
It's out.
Say it again.
It's out. The movie's out.
Oh, the movie's out. Okay, yeah. So he's got the movie out, and he basically made a comment about race in the justice system, and it almost sounded like he was saying that you can't blame the system for mass incarceration. That it basically starts at home. Before we dig into it, I'm gonna go in and dig up his quotes and everything so we can make sure everybody hears exactly what Denzel said. Willie, what did you think when you first kind of saw what he was trying to say?
First of all, I was suspicious. When I first, put it like this, when I first heard it, it threw me off because it's Denzel, and Denzel has been a solid dude ever since I've known him. He's always been a solid dude. Even in the media, he's very measured with his words, very authentic. So it didn't sound like something that would come from somebody like him, okay? So I started doing my research, and I started looking into the quote. And what I found was that the griot was the original, supposedly the original source of this quote. But when I went to Griot, I didn't find any quote. I didn't find any quote where he said anything about, I can't blame the system. Again, the Griot was supposedly the original source of the quote. And so, and I also heard the video. So I heard him out of his mouth when he was talking about the black family, and the whole thing came about off top because they asked him a question about, the reporter asked him a question about, with the state of the world that is in right now, how optimistic are you about the black family? And he started saying, well, we got to have fathers in the house. When a kid don't have a father, he's gonna go out and find him a father. Young man don't have a father, he's gonna go out and find a father. Hey, so far so good in my book. He also said that when a kid doesn't have a father figure, a positive father figure, the judge becomes his mother and the jail becomes his home. This is true. But that quote, I'm still looking for the quote where they're saying that he said he doesn't blame the system. And as I searched for the quote, the only place I could find the quote was on conservative websites. It wasn't on ABC, it wasn't on CBS, it wasn't on NBC, it wasn't on CNN. So I like, when you see something like that, especially a quote like that, you have to cross-reference, because the conservative sites like the Blaze and Breitbart, Fox, the only time they showcase a black person in a positive light when that black person is shitting on the black community. Anytime you see anything where they're saying, oh, I respect him, I respect what she's saying. I respect her for saying that. It's only when Black people are shitting on the Black community do they have respect for us. This is something I'm making up.
Well, let me jump in and kind of, I looked up the quote, and here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about it. I believe Denzel did say some of that. I don't think they just put quotes in his mouth. At least unless the New York Daily News, is making quotes up, which I assume he would, he was suing for that. But he literally said, so, they asked him, they said, how do you feel about the criminal justice system? Did this movie make you more skeptical of the system? And he basically said, it starts with how you raise your children. If a young man doesn't have a father figure, he'll go find a father figure. Then he said, so, I can't blame the system.
Well, the thing about it though, Boyce, is that I saw a video where he was talking about that, where he was, I've seen the words come out of his mouth. That part I didn't see. So this
right. But that was when he was talking to the Griot. When he talked to Daily News, they did their own interview.
Yeah,
they were quoting what he said to the Griot. They were quoting what he said to them.
Yeah, but Daily News is a conservative site, and Daily News is like a tabloid. They really ain't credible. They're like a tabloid. So you have to question stuff, that anything that they put out, you got to take it with a grain of salt. If not a grain of salt, just dismiss it as straight up lies. So I'm just saying that here's the thing that I like about what's being said right now. Like, I think it's important that when we call out our leaders, the people that we know that's in our community that really love Black people, I know that Denzel loves Black people for real. So I think that it's very important that when we when they get out of line or they say something that we don't necessarily agree with, or we think that's a bad look for us, I think that it's important for us to make sure that we got it right. And then when we do check them and we do speak on it, that we speak on it and make sure we speaking on it out of love and don't give them any additional ammunition to attack to attack us or to use one against the other, because that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to create confusion. That's their job. So I'm saying that in print, a pair of lips can say anything. A pair of lips can say anything. That means a person a lie, anybody can lie. But if it's on the internet, you damn sure gotta check it. But here's the thing that I like about it. It's got us where we are right now. And we're talking about a very, very serious topic. So the only thing my only thing about this is that I want to make sure that if Denzel did say that, then we got to hold him accountable for it. We got to hold his feet to the fire and make sure that he don't get away with that, because that's very reckless. But if he didn't say it, we got to make sure that we don't indict him also.
Right. Well, let me say this. I'll say this. Everybody who's watching, I'm talking to Willie D, and we're talking about Denzel Washington in his quote about the criminal justice system. He's got the movie Roman J. Israel coming out, and he basically, according to the New York Daily News, which we know, as you know, it's a controversial site, right? They're gonna take quotes out of context if they can, things like that. But according to the New York Daily News, he said, I really can't blame the system. It starts at home. If a child doesn't have a father, he's going to go find a father. Now, here's why, first of all, let me say this. Whether they're telling the truth or not, I don't have a big problem with a lot of what Denzel said. I think that maybe he said it in a way that was not intended the way he wanted to deliver it. But it sounds to me like all that I'm really hearing is something I hear from a lot of my family members that are very, conservative, but they love Black people. If you talk to some of my uncles, they might say, well, yeah, the white man's going to do what the white man's going to do, but I can't blame him for wanting to enslave people that are trying to be enslaved anyway. If you out here acting stupid and you out here getting yourself into bad situations, are you really going to blame them forever? They will say something like that, right? So I almost feel like Denzel was trying to say, we need fathers in the home. We got too many people out here that's acting like fathers don't matter. And our kids ended up in prison because we act like fathers don't matter. Now, does that mean that the system's not doing its job? In a way, it's like if I'm walking in the alley and I got a pocket full of money and I'm telling everybody how much money's in my pocket, and somebody hits me in the head and robs me, somebody might say, well, of course that's going to happen to you. You should have protected yourself. What are you doing, out here putting yourself in dumb situations? So it doesn't mean they're not saying that what the other person's doing isn't wrong. They're just saying that given that they're going to do what they're going to do, white people are going to be white. That's all they know how to do. The justice system is going to be what it is. What are we doing to change our behavior to keep ourselves away from those situations? I don't think that makes Denzel a bad guy for saying, like, it starts in the home. He's right.
No, it doesn't. In fact, that makes him a good guy. That makes him a loving guy. That makes him a caring guy. If he's saying that this is what it is, this is the truth. This is something that all of us, I think all responsible individuals, all responsible men are not afraid to say that. In fact, I'll take it a step further and say it's incumbent upon us to say that. If we know better, it's incumbent upon us, the men that are responsible, the men that are active in the community, that are active fathers, that are active to speak out and say what the truth is, because a lot of our young men and even a lot of our old heads, they lost. They don't know any better. So it's important for men to teach men. So I get that part of it. I have no problem with none of that part. I have no problem with the part where he's saying, you got to have positive male role models. You got to have fathers in the home. I get all of that. I'm 100% in agreement with that. But let's not act like racism or systemic racism and white supremacy don't have a strong hand in black males going to prison and getting locked up and ending up on probation and parole and messing their lives up and making it hard for them to even restart their life when they make one mistake, because our mistakes are magnified. When we do something, our mistakes are magnified and punishment is much more severe on us. Now, here's the thing, and I understand that people say, well, you just got to stay out of the way. You can't do nothing. Hey, man, we've seen people get killed for not doing anything but being black in America. The bottom line is that white supremacy and systemic racism has always had a hand in black people having broken homes. They've always had some type of hand in it. So I'm not excusing the role that we play and our responsibility. That's the interesting dichotomy that we have to deal with. We have to deal with, on one hand, they're attacking us, they're targeting us for failure. They want us dead. They want our bodies cold or warm. They don't care how they get our bodies. They want our bodies cold or warm. I get that. I understand that. And so our job as black males is to not let it happen. We understand that America is a minefield for black males. Any step in the wrong direction can get your leg blown off, your life taken away, get your freedom taken away. We understand that is what we're up against. So understanding that, I go out, I wake up every day and I go out there and do the best I can. And I understand these traps. I understand that there are people out there that are targeting me for failure, that are people out there that are not going to give me the benefit of the doubt or the chance, second chance, or that they're going to give the next man. I understand that. But at the same time, that is not going to give me, that's not going to allow me to give those people that's got a hand in the dirty dealings of black males, in the dirty dealings of trying to suppress and oppress and hold black people back. I'm not giving their asses a pass. They still doing the dirty shit that they're doing, and they got to be held accountable. We know, me and you know, all of us know. Let's keep it real like Denzel was keeping it. Let's keep it all the way 100. Shitty parents make shitty children, okay? Bottom line, man, not in all cases. In most cases, and I know some of y'all gonna take this and run with it, hear what you want to hear. You're gonna run with it and say, that's Willie D, you shouldn't have said that, man, because I know people who had good parents and they turned out bad, and I'm not talking about them. I said in most cases, shitty parents turn out shitty children. That's just a fact. Okay? So we understand that. We understand that we got work to do. And we got to be held responsible for our part. We can't be sitting back waiting on somebody to come save us. Ain't nobody gonna save us. Nobody cares about black people in the world. They don't care about us, okay? It's us against everybody. And that's gotta be our mentality.
Well, let me say this, man. I think that Denzel was, I think that I don't have a problem with his comment, because I think that he meant well no matter what he said. And remember, he's 62 years old. So he's gonna have, he's gonna have a perspective that's not the same as a 32-year-old, and that to me says that, sometimes when he talks, when he says something, he's gonna sound like somebody's granddaddy or whatever, because that's what he is, and that doesn't make his advice bad. I think that for him to say, I can't blame the system, I would hope that he doesn't mean the system's not to blame. We hope that he's not saying that. If he's saying that, then he's got to get checked on that. But I think at the same time that other side of the coin of allowing us to accept the fact that we do play a part in the outcomes of our children. I mean, the outcomes of black people will always, in my mind, be mostly determined by black people. When you get to where we're making excuses, what that does is that allows anybody to just get into any old dumb shit they want to get into, right, and say, oh, it's because the white man wanted to do this to me. No, there's a point where you got to take responsibility for your own shit. But to your point, what you were saying earlier, it's a small margin of error for a black man. A white boy has a wide margin of error. A white boy go to college, get hooked on cocaine, rape a couple women, you know what I mean, shoplift in the mall, whatever it is. Daddy's going to help him get out. Somebody's going to take care of him. The system ain't going to really punish him for life. For a young black man, you make a tiny mistake at an early age. You still got guys that's doing a lot of time in prison right now because they had a little weed in their pocket 10, 15 years ago. And so ultimately, I think that I hope that Denzel understands that. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, he did kind of give the conservatives a lot of ammunition. I mean, do you think that they just are totally just trying to make stuff up and attack, or do you think that there's really something to this in terms of them? There's a reason why they are parading what he said. I don't think they misquoted him. I don't think they just made stuff up. I think he let the word slip out and they took it and they ran with it, like you said.
Well, boys, you know better than I do. I know that you can never trust your oppressor, and it's nothing that's beneath them. They'll do anything to make us look bad. They've been doing it forever. So I'm willing to give Denzel the benefit of doubt based on if he was Charles Barkley, I'd automatically say, yeah, that motherfucker said it because he's a coon. Yeah, I automatically believe it. But if he was a Stephen A. Smith, one of those types, oh yeah, he probably did say that. But Denzel, I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt till I actually hear him come back and either refute it, or he either has to refute those allegations, or he has to reiterate them in order for me to say, okay, this is what the real truth is. I believe that he said that he spoke on black fathers, black families needing black men in the house, black boys, black males, young black males needing black male role models, positive black male role models. And I believe that conservative sites took that and say, yeah, Denzel said it's not the prison, it's the blacks, it's the black fathers that's the problem. You see, that's what I believe that happened. Now, whatever the truth is for me, it's the truth. So whatever that truth is, I'm really, I'm cool with it one way or another. I would hope that the truth is not that he actually fixed his mouth to say that he don't blame the system, because you got to know the system got a heavy hand. It has a heavy hand in the school to prison pipeline. To your point, you was talking about, how the margin of error is very, very small for black males. Listen, man, not everyone has the mental fortitude to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and make it out of a bad situation that they're born into, okay? Not everybody has that fortitude. And when it comes to white males, when it comes to white people, period, they have a lot, the courts give them a lot more latitude than they give black people. When a black male mess up, they say lock him up, throw away the key, put him on some probation. He's just like all the rest of them. When it's a white boy, hey man, his boys will be boys. We can't lock him up. We can't ruin his life. And this is for black white girls and white females, and also, we can't ruin it like, oh, he's never been to jail before. It's going to ruin his life. It's just going to shock him. He can't go to jail. It'll ruin his life. He's never been around a criminal element before. That's the way they treat them. So we understanding that they can come, white people can come from a bad situation and they don't have to worry about going to jail unless they commit criminal acts. They don't have to worry about being targeted by the police. See, they target, if you grow up in a bad element in the United States of America and you black, the police prey on you, politicians prey on you, businesses prey on you. They prey on the black community. Police go and they target the black community. They plant drugs on people in the black community. They disrespect, they push people around, they talk to people bad. They write tickets. All of these municipalities across America, the reason why a lot of these municipalities run well, now of course people pay taxes, but black people pay an additional tax. We also pay a black tax on top of regular taxes. Now, what is a black tax? That's riding down the street when you get profiled and they pull you over and they make up shit. They writing you up for this, they writing you up for that. When you go to the courtrooms, you go into these courtrooms and you see all these black people, you would think you in Africa some damn where. You wouldn't think that you were in a country that was predominantly white. But if you don't have any sense, if you're a corny motherfucker, if you're a corny thinking motherfucker, you'll automatically think that black people commit more crimes. That's why they're in here. You're not thinking these people are being targeted. They're being targeted by police forces all across America. And I mean all of the police departments. I'm not talking about 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or just in the major cities. I'm talking about all of the cities, municipalities, the townships, all of them. Even just riding, even when you're going to these little small towns and they have these little traps, they ain't got the 2 cops, that's on the force, and they writing like 200,000 damn tickets a year. We're paying for these towns to be built up. That's profiling black people. Black people are paying for all of this shit in all of these cities. We're paying for all of this stuff when they write these tickets and when they're trumping up charges against us, making shit up. They said it themselves. They said that when they don't see a crime, when there's no crime, they go see a black dude or somebody just walking down the street, minding their own business. Hey, what you doing? Where you going? I'm going to work. You got some ID? Yeah. Okay. Well, stand over here. Hold you up, piss you off, agitate you. Maybe they can get you to say the wrong thing, say something bad. So now they can act more disrespectful, piss you off. And then next thing you know, you got a resisting arrest charge. They trying to arrest you. You don't know what for. Of course you're gonna be resisting.
Right. Now let me jump in. Let me jump in a little bit. I think that everybody watching agrees with you, right? Everybody watching hears what you're saying. They know what the police do. Like we've been talking about that for a while. Like the police, I think everybody watching will say that you're 100% correct on all of that, right? So I think that if Denzel needed that kind of like layout of all of that, that would be unfortunate that he would have to have that explained to him. I would imagine that he understands that, at least on some level. What is interesting to me is I'm almost worried that we could end up thinking that Denzel is a certain kind of guy because of the characters that he's played, right? He played Malcolm X, so people read Malcolm X into his personality, but it's almost like when somebody plays a superhero, they read into their mind that they are a superhero in real life, right? and they may not be, right? So I'm wondering, I was sitting there trying to run back in my mind, when has Denzel the person, not the actor, I'm talking about Denzel the person, come out and really said anything that was, sort of very strongly pro-black, something that was going to get him in trouble with the white folks? I don't know. I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm just saying, we saw him in Training Day. We saw him in Glory. We saw him in Malcolm X. Brilliant actor. He's the best actor I ever saw in my life. I saw him in a play one time. I was in the third row. It was being that close to watching his energy let me know why he's one of the great actors in the world. But when has the real Denzel Washington stepped out and said, police brutality is wrong in this country, is messed up. We mark Black Lives Matter. Assalamu alaikum. When has Denzel ever, as a person, come out and ever said anything that's going to get him in trouble with the white folks in Hollywood? Anybody can think of any examples. I don't remember anything. Stevie Wonder's done some stuff. You saw your boy with the green eyes went on the BET thing, the light skinned dude. You know what I'm talking about? Jesse, what's his name? Jesse Williams. You see some actors come out and be like, the people on Blackish, they've been outspoken. I've never seen Denzel do anything that was like activist. I saw Malcolm do stuff, but he was playing a character. When he's been a real person done that? I don't know.
Okay, here's the deal though. Have you ever heard him say anything that was coonish, that was detrimental to the black community? It's one thing to say, I ain't heard him say nothing when he said black power, or the white man this, or the cops did this. But have you ever heard him say anything that was detrimental? You see, that says a lot too, because listen, man, all of us don't have to speak loudly. All of us don't have to say, this is exactly how I think, and this is what I think of that, and I think of this. I know people that know Denzel, and from everything I've heard, the dude is solid. The dude do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, where they giving back to the community and stuff like that we don't see. He do a lot of educating. He do a lot of coaching, with young people. So for me, I'm cool if you're not the dude to say, police brutality is messed up in this country and they're targeting black people. Just don't say black people are to blame for their own condition. Just don't say no stupid shit like that. We know that we have a role. Oftentimes we have a role in that, but let's not give the other people a pass that got a role in it. Let's not give white supremacy and systemic racism a pass ever. Let's always accept responsibility, but let's never give them a pass ever, because they started this shit. White supremacists, white supremacy started all of this shit. They should never, ever, ever get a pass. Just because, listen, man, just because you did something a long time ago doesn't mean that your acts that you committed doesn't have a rippling effect today. Doesn't have any effect today on the people that you wrong.
Right. Well, I think that's definitely clear, right? So I'm gonna ask you this. So what if, and I'm gonna show a clip of Denzel. I want people to hear what he said on the griot, so people can just kind of get the point of view he's coming from. But like, what if it was the case? What if they wasn't lying? What if Denzel really said, you can't blame the system? It starts at home. We ain't got no fathers. That's what's messing up. What if that's really what he said? And let's say he never comes out and corrects anything. He just says, that's what I said. I said it once. I ain't got to say it again. Does that change your perspective on him? Or do you still just sort of say, okay, he's, but he's still a solid dude. It's okay. Can a solid dude make a statement like that?
No, I'm still gonna check him. He got to get checked. He got to get checked, but at the same time, like I say, I look at the totality of a person's work. We're all humans, and so we all make mistakes. There's been times where I've said things, and I was like, I don't think I should have really said that. That doesn't mean I'm not a solid dude. That doesn't mean that I'm not authentic. It's just that, hey man, I think I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, and I genuinely regret that. But you better believe that I'm not going to take back anything that I say because I feel like it's going to hurt me financially or it's going to make people not like me because I said that. I'm going to take back, I'm not going to try to take it back, but I'll apologize or I'll regret what I said only if I feel that I was wrong within my heart, my conscience. I can't live with that statement that I made, my conscience, my conscience. Do I sleep good at night? I said that, can I sleep good at night knowing that I did right? What makes me sleep good at night is knowing that I do right by people, and so when somebody do wrong by me, I have no problem doing what I gotta do to remedy that problem. Because I know as long as I feel like I'm right, I'm gonna sleep good, man. I sleep like a baby. I might put a thumb in my mouth.
All right, well, let's pull Denzel up. Let's let Denzel speak for himself, and let's see what he had to say on the grill. I'm gonna share the screen real quick, and we'll play the clip so everybody can just kind of hear what he said to the grill. Now, with the grill, he did not say you can't blame the system. It's the New York Daily News who's saying you can't blame the system. But here's what he said to the grill. Check it out.
Voluntary manslaughter.
Sorry. Find the father in the streets. Yeah. I saw it in my generation and every generation before me and everyone since. It starts in the home. If the streets raise you, then the judge becomes your mother and prison becomes your home.
And in this movie, you're dealing with young activists. So do you feel any hope right now with the young folks who are lawyers, who are, fighting and pushing for change?
I remember when I was doing the movie Malcolm X, and we were doing a speech up at Columbia. We had a bunch of students for Columbia University. In between takes, we were talking about things and how tough the world is and this and that. And I was like, well, with everything we're talking about, does it make you want to give up? And they're like, oh, no, we're going to change it. I was like, oh, I'm the cynic. They were thinking about changing things, So I think that I pray that young people never lose that fire. I don't think they will. And needless to say, there's a lot for them to work on.
Okay, so let me ask people on here who's watching. By the way, in case you don't know who I'm talking to Willie D. Well, he was known as a member of the Ghetto Boys, founding member of the Ghetto Boys, but he's also, I know him as just a great black man, an upstanding dude, and a respected guy. And we're also partnering on something you guys may want to know about called the Man Up Academy. That's a curriculum on manhood. We both agree that we need conversations about manhood so that young men and those who love them can learn the foundations of manhood. So that's why I can say we agree with a lot of what Denzel said. The fathers do matter. We know that. So let me see. I'm gonna look and see what people have to say. I'm gonna get your take on this, Willie. Let's see. Jimmy says, I think Denzel is absolutely correct on what he said. There's a lot of blame to go around, but we have to stand up and take responsibility for our own bullshit and stop turning to the streets for employment for mothers and fathers. What do you think about that, Willie?
I agree.
You agree? Okay. You said I agree. Okay.
Hey, man, all that self-accountability stuff, I'm in agreement with. I'm totally in agreement with.
Okay. Well, let me say this, guys. Some people are asking, what is he, what's the controversy? What did Denzel say that was controversial? Well, the part that was controversial was that in an interview with the New York Daily News, they quoted him as saying that that you can't blame the system for mass incarceration. That he says, I can't blame the system. That's what they said in quotes. He said it starts at home. And so effectively, I think, so the conservative websites kind of ran with it. The conservatives said, oh, look, here's a black man who's saying that the system's not to blame. It's all on them. We always knew black people were flawed, and finally he admitted it. I don't think that's what Denzel meant. I'm hoping that's not what he meant. But I think what's also interesting, man, I want to get your take on this, is I feel like with Denzel, if you hear his rhetoric, you hear what he talks about, he seems like a guy who is successful because he didn't spend a lot of time feeling sorry for himself. He didn't, he believes in taking responsibility, doing your best, going for what's yours, and working hard. And you can't argue with that. You can't argue with those value systems on any level. Or what do you think?
When you're trying to build a legacy, you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. It's like being in a boxing match and you're fighting and the dude is whooping on your ass and you sitting, oh, he hit me again. Oh, he hit me again. You got to figure out a way to counter what he's doing in order for you to win that match. You can't be worried about what he's doing as much as what he's doing. You got to turn around and turn that defense into offense. Because if you're playing defense the whole time, you can't win. You can't win a game. The only way you can win a game is if you put something on the board. You got to put some points on the board in order to win. Just playing defense. And a lot of us are just playing defense. And yes, that me, that pity thing, man, that's played out. That's played out because all that's going to do is get you a jail sentence, going to get you a situation that you can't get out of. It's going to be very, very hard to overcome. So I don't play the pity party whatsoever. I don't believe in the excuses. Everybody that's around me, including family members, friends, my employees, they know I do not tolerate excuses. I tolerate results. Okay, we know this happened, that happened. Okay, what are we going to do to fix it? Because we can't take an L. That's our question. We can't take an L and just accept it. We got to figure out how we want to win. That's what it's about, winning. So if you know that these people are doing all the dirty things that they're doing, and you're willing to sit back there and play their game anyway, you are going to take an L. Your children are going to grow up without his father. Your daughter's probably going to get pushed around by some bum-ass dude who's probably going to beat her up and leave her barefoot and pregnant. Your son is probably going to end up in the streets prematurely, trying to fill the shoes that you were supposed to be wearing, and he's going to go out there because his mama is calling him the man of the house, which is a whole other subject that we need to talk about someday, because ain't no way you can be the man of the house when you ain't paying no damn bill. So he's out there trying to become a man that you need to be. He's trying to protect the house. You're leaving 15-year-olds to be the provider and the protector of the home. Man, do you know all you're gonna do at that point is exacerbate the situation when you say, well, I'm gonna do this for my children. I'm jumping out here for my kids. Are you really doing it for your kids? Or are you doing it because you want to shine? Because I can tell you 100% unequivocally, if you are running them streets, if you out there doing anything illegal and you black, your ass is going to jail. Guaranteed. It is a matter of time. If you're selling dope and they haven't caught you yet, give it time. They will catch you because they already see what you're doing. If they can see what's going on in Syria, if they got a telescope up there in the damn sky, 5,000 miles away, and they can see what's happening on the block in Beirut, you think they can't see what's going on the block in South Park, on the block in fucking South Central LA, South side of Chicago? They see your ass. They just got bigger fish to fry right now. And they'll come back to you when things get a little slow and they ain't got nothing else to do.
Well, let me show you something, man. There is and by the way, if you want to join the Man Up Academy that Willie D and I put together, feel free to go to themanupacademy.com. You can actually just check it out, take a look. That's themanupacademy.com. If you use the code free month, you can actually get a free month, since you'll be a founding member of the Man Up Academy. That's where we're going to talk about manhood, give manhood training, manhood drills, manhood curriculum. So if you are looking for that structure in your life, or you know somebody who needs it, send them to the Man Up Academy. Give it to them as a Christmas gift. Find that cousin, that uncle, that brother whoever ain't doing what they need to do or needs some guidance, we are here to offer that. And the first month is free if you use the code FREEMONTH. That's themanupacademy.com. Now let me show you something, Willie. I want you to check this out, man. This
Boyce.
Yes.
What happened to the screen? Oh, before you go there, let me say this right here. Let me say something right quick. It's the Man Up Academy is also for men who want to improve their condition. I'm talking about men who are already successful, men who are already progressive, men who are already involved in their children's life. Because we're also working, we also be working with other men who are in other, who work in other areas of life like real estate, you know, investments, hunting, you know, any relationship coaches, anything you can think of. We're going to have courses on all of that. So just like myself, I'm constantly trying to learn, and I'm constantly putting myself out there, and I'm constantly, you know, I go to these seminars and stuff when dudes come into town who got that information, like Boyce Watkins. You know, I come into town and I listen to these cats, you know, because I want to improve my situation. I don't think you could ever stop learning. So I want to make sure that the men out there who also got something going on, who are moving forward in life, who are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, who are involved in their children's life, I want to make sure that you guys know that you're also welcome to join.
That's right. All right. Great point. It's an excellent description. And you know, I know Willie and I, we were talking about this, and I don't remember where the idea came from, but I know we had a lot of conversations about the fact that there's so many young guys that just need guidance. I know I meet them all around the world, you know, guys that come up and, you know, guys will say, you're like a surrogate father, you know, stuff like that. And that reminds me of, you know, what I would have lost if my stepfather hadn't stepped in. You know, my biological father wasn't there, but my stepfather gave me a lot of blueprints on manhood that really helped me out a lot. And so I feel that it's my obligation to share that with as many people as possible. So that's what we want to use our platform for. And again, you can go to themanupacademy.com if you want to take a look. That's themanupacademy.com. Use the code FREEMONTH if you want to be in for the first month, because right now we're adding in all the content and the curriculum and everything else. You get to do Q&As with us, stuff like that. But when you come in there, it's the judgment-free zone. So we're going to have real conversations about manhood and just the honest, raw truth. There's no political correctness, none of that shit. It's all about just really talking about what it means to be a man, and because we owe it to the community, you know. And I want to show you something, man. Now going back to the issue with Denzel, right? You know, because those of y'all who just came in, I'm talking to Willie D. We were talking about Denzel. Denzel Washington made this quote about mass incarceration. Some people are wondering, you know, when he said, he allegedly, according to the New York Daily News, said, I can't blame the system. It starts at home. If a boy doesn't have a father, he'll find a father in the street, and that's how they end up in prison, etc. Well, let me check this out, Willie. So to dig deeper, just as another piece of evidence, that I don't even know if it's real evidence. I'm just going to give you the information, let you guys kind of think about it, and I'd love to get your take on it. About 4 years ago, I've had a conversation with Russell Simmons, several conversations with Russell Simmons about how to end mass incarceration. You know, basically, Russell, you know, y'all know Russell's in the media now for some stuff. I don't know nothing about all that, but I do know that Russell was sincere when it came to dealing with the prison issue. So what Russell and I agreed to do was we agreed to write a very respectful letter to President Barack Obama, asking him to address the mass incarceration issue. I wrote the letter. Russell got the celebrities to sign it. I don't really know a lot of people in the industry and whatnot. I know a lot of scholars and, you know, and political types, but he knew a lot of the celebrities. So we said, we can get all these people to come together on one unified letter. Maybe we can get the Obama administration to step up on the incarceration issue. Now, let me show you this page. I ain't looked at it for years, but it was successful, very successful. Right after we wrote the letter, to Russell's credit, Russell got a lot of shit from the Obama administration because, you know, Russell was a guy that they would invite to the parties and all that, but they stopped inviting him to shit when they saw him really standing up on incarceration and not backing down. So I was personally impressed because I didn't know what to expect. But let me show you this. Now, here's the thing. I know for a fact that Russell and Denzel are friends. Now, Russell got a lot of people to sign this incarceration letter to deal with the Obamas. Now, you look here, we got civil rights leaders, everybody from Julian Bine, Jesse Jackson, Ben Jealous, who was the president of the NAACP at that time, going down the list, the head of the Drug Policy Alliance, even old Sharpton signed it. a bunch of Susan Taylor from Essence Magazine, etc. Now you get to entertainment. Look at the names here. It's very diverse. He runs with a diverse crowd. Lala Anthony, Roseanne Barr, Russell Brand, Jim Carrey, Cedric the Entertainer, Margaret Cho, Effion Crockett, Rosario Dawson, Mike Epps, Jamie Foxx, Omar Epps, Tyrese Gibson, John Hamm, Hill Harper, Woody Harrelson, Amber Heard, going down to Ron Howard, Jay Ivey, Terrence J. Even the Kardashians signed it. LL Cool J signed it. You just keep going down the list. Chris Rock, Russell, of course, he signed it. Vanessa, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith. Now, here's the thing. So we're going down the list, and I'm like, I was asking him at the time. I said, okay, what about Jay-Z and Beyonce? Now, at that time, Jay was a different kind of artist, and he just he didn't really say a lot, but he was kind of like, well, Jay, it's hard to get Jay to do nothing, right? But then I'm looking back now, and I know that he knows Denzel, and I have no doubt I would be willing to bet you anything that they reached out and asked him to sign the letter. For some reason, Denzel's name was not on there. Jeffrey Wright signed it, Kerry Washington, a lot of people signed, Marlon Wayans, Jesse Williams, a whole lot of people, but Denzel's name is not on there. Now, it could be Russell didn't ask him, which I doubt, because Russell asked all his celebrity friends. He really stepped up on that. It could also be that he reached out and they just missed the message and just didn't get back, which again would be interesting. But it's also possible that he was asked to sign it and he said, I don't want to get into that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe it's the system's fault, or I don't want to piss off these white people that are signing these big contracts paying me $12 million a movie. And you see that a lot where you have black folks that will be very, very, they'll do a couple things. They'll be helpful to the black community. Like, I'm gonna go teach these black people some things so they can do better. They will also sometimes be critical of black people. Like, y'all need to do better. Y'all ain't really stepping up. One thing a lot of black people in Hollywood do not do is they will not criticize the white man. They will not criticize the white man and his systems and his ways and his role in the creation of all of this. And I'm not saying Denzel's in that category, but I'm thinking that is a distinct possibility. What do you think?
I agree because I don't know him personally. I just know people that know him. But I agree. I mean, anything's possible. But again, what I wouldn't want to do is jump to a bunch of conclusions.
Right.
I would want to I'd give a dude the benefit of the doubt. Like I say, I look at the totality of their work, and all of those scenarios that you just named is quite possible, man. There's a number of reasons why I don't do certain things that other people get involved with. Everybody's very passionate about everything that they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. On any given day, my inbox is inundated with requests, for me to be involved in this. And every single person, I don't give a damn how small the concept is. They might be going to a block in Fifth Ward, and they ain't got nobody. They ain't got no flyers or nothing. They ain't got no mission statement. They ain't got no photograph. They ain't got a website. They ain't got no email. They ain't got nothing. But they got this idea. We're going to meet at 4:00 p.m. on Boulevard, and we're going to protest for such and such. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is very, very passionate about what they do. And that list that you just read off is very, very impressive. I didn't see Denzel name on there, but hey, Willie D name ain't on there either. You know what I'm saying? And you know what kind of cat I am. So
I didn't know you back then. And I don't know if you and Russell know each other like that. It really came down to who I knew or who he knew, But the thing about Russell just seems to know damn near everybody, Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Him and Sharpton, I don't know how they got so many friends, man. But both of those guys, I just sat there and watched them, and they literally have a Rolodex in their head of a million different people. I don't get into that. I just do what I do, man. I'm not trying to have a million friends. If I like the person, I will be their friend because I respect what they do. But I'm not trying to have a million relationships with different people, man. It's too much. My brain can't even handle that. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming. People calling you all the time. I can't do all that.
Well, Russell ran one of the most successful record labels in the history of record labels, period, in the history. And so you know, of course, he's going to know a lot of people. He's going to have access to a lot of people. A lot of those people on that list are fans of the artists that he helped break.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be surprising. It's not surprising that he knows so many people with so many different backgrounds.
Yeah, can you check your input mic again? Because your audio kind of started dropping a little bit.
Is that right?
Yeah, it started dropping. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But while you work on that, I'll tell everybody I'm talking to Willie D, formerly of the Ghetto Boys, but also, well, currently also of the Ghetto Boys. You know him from the Ghetto Boys, maybe, but you also may know him as a great activist and a great black man. And he's the co-founder of the Man Up Academy. The Man Up Academy is at themanupacademy.com. If you could join us at themanupacademy.com, we're basically doing a curriculum on manhood. You ain't even got to be black. It's just about manhood, period. And that's something that we came up with together because we felt the community needed that. We need that to be standard training for our young men, because I want to help raise the kinds of men that I would want to marry my daughter. You know, I want to see the community filled with the kinds of men that can stand up for the community. I want to see men that are educated, men that are building wealth, men that are traveling the world, men that are protecting and respecting black women, men that have skills that will help them succeed, men that are conscientious and intelligent about what's going on in the world, you know, all of that. So that's what the Man Up Academy is all about. If you want to check it out, go to themanupacademy.com. Use the code free month, one word, free month, not two words, just one, free month, and you get the first month free, and you can be part of our inaugural class. I'll let you get the last word, man. I got to run because I got to get on the plane to go out of the country in the morning. So what's your last final take on this? I don't want to convict Denzel. I just don't want to believe that this man I respect so much as an actor and you know and who he is as a human being. I don't want to believe that he can't understand what the criminal justice system does. So I'm kind of like you. I'm leaning toward giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't want to be so caught up that he's a celebrity that we can't believe that it's not possible that he could have been cooning a little bit. You know, like coonery is a possibility in that, right? But at the same time, I think Denzel, everybody agrees. Everybody loves him. He's a powerful actor, and I still wish him the best. But that's my final take. You know, it's really I can't jump to conclusions one way or the other, negative or positive, really. What's your take, man? I'll let you get the last word.
Well, again, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I think that this was a spirited discussion. It was a much needed discussion, and we were going to talk about our class today anyway. And you know, we're going to talk about the Man Up Academy anyway. But this provided a perfect backdrop and opportunity to introduce the Man Up Academy, because this is what we're all about. We're talking about fatherhood. We're talking about leadership, positive black male role models involved, being active, taking responsibility. And I agree 1000% with Denzel on that. It does start in the home. Everything starts in the home. Education starts in the home. Morals start in the home. Values start in the home. Your spiritual connection, it starts in the home. Okay. Racism starts in the home. Prejudice starts in the home. All of this stuff starts in the home. But if you're black in America, don't you ever in your life fix your mouth to say that white supremacy and systemic racism doesn't have a hand in the detriment of the black community. Don't you ever fix your mouth to say something like that. And if you do, I don't give a damn how much education you have. You are a damn fool.
Well, you know, you ended on the right note. I agree with you 100%. There's no way anybody can walk away and say systematic racism is not real. It is the enemy. That is the enemy. We are not each other's enemy. And I think that the thing is that even if Denzel did say what they said he said, I don't see him as the enemy, because I see him as a guy who, from his own perspective, wants to see black people do well. You know, that's it. At the end of the day, if you conservative or liberal, I don't care about that. I just have to decide, are we on the same team? and maybe we're just doing good cop, bad cop, taking different approaches, but we all want to see Black people do well. And that's really what happens at the end of the day, man. So yeah, man. So everybody, if you want to check out the Man Up Academy, go to themanupacademy.com. It's a great place for great conversations and development on manhood, a great curriculum on manhood. Feel free to check that out. You can get.
Boyce, what is our first Q&A? When is the first Q&A?
I think the first Q&A is going to be scheduled for Thursday, and it's going to be a private Q&A where you can come in and talk to Willie and I. Let me look at the time. I'll put it in the curriculum, but it looks like it's scheduled for Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. Central. So I know you and I are on Central time, but it's 9 Eastern time. So we're going to basically have a private Q&A for Man Up Academy members and basically talk to you about manhood, answer your questions. So if your father does not have the ability to give you the skill set to be successful in this world, we do have that ability. We've both been successful in our own right. I humbly submit that. I know, you know what I've done with my PhD and everything. Willie literally was not just one of the most respected hip hop legends in all of history, but he was the mastermind behind the Ghetto Boys. He might not tell you that, but from the stories he's told me in terms of how he broke it down and what I've heard from other people, he's the reason all of that came into existence. So he is able to see a vision and make it into a reality. And that's what we want for every Black man in this country. If every Black man in this country learned those same skill sets, then you will be unstoppable, no matter what that other man tries to do to you. So that's what the Man Up Academy is all about. So I hope you guys will come and join us. And ladies are welcome as well. If you want to understand your sons or your husbands, you can join the conversation too, as long as you don't judge and you allow the men to be men and to grow and to figure out what that manhood is supposed to look like. Anybody can come in. So
it's very important that women know that this is also for them, because this is information. This is not gender-based. This is information. This is information specifically, to help raise men and give men the tools, not just raise men, but to help men to grow. I'm a man, I'm 51 years old, but I'm still growing. So I need this information too. This is important. So is anybody that need that information? A lot of times women come to me and they say, I got 2 sons and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Hey, come to Man Up Academy, get your information. We're gonna tell you what to do because we playing off of all scenarios. And hey Boyce, I'm gonna say it again, man. I appreciate you giving me that big salute, as far as Ghetto Boys and everything, and this mastermind thing. But man, really, it really was a concerted effort, man. It was me, it was Brad, it was Jake. That's what created Ghetto Boys.
Well, you know what, and I think you make a good point too, though, because as a man, I had to also
read early on. I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, man, I had to learn what you were just talking about, that idea of just teamwork too. I'm sorry, but my personal perspective is that your vision, like if you had, I really believe that if you had not been a part of the Ghetto Boys, I don't think the Ghetto Boys would have become what it became, right? But then again, you could talk about Scarface and his talent and everything else, and of course what Jay and everybody did.
I think the sum is greater than the parts when it came to Ghetto Boys. I think that if you don't have any of those parts, you don't get the Ghetto Boys, as you know. Because me and Brad were the writers, maybe we could have got it done without Bill, because Bill played a role. He played a significant role, but Bill was a lot of that role was optics. Brad and I were from the second album really on. It was just me and him when it came to creative concept. That's what propelled GB along through all of those years.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, everybody knows what you did. When a man can make a mark like that is legendary and remembered and recognized by everyone, that's pretty much what every man dreams to do. And I think that to me speaks to the importance that guys who have been able to climb certain mountains coming back and really talking directly to men in a no-nonsense way, because Black men are not getting, especially Black men, are not getting good advice from anybody. They get,
you know why, Boyce?
What's that? Why is that?
first of all, we're not going to get any advice. We can't look from the outside to get good advice for us. We already know that. But one of the biggest reasons why we don't get good advice from other black males is because one of the biggest reasons is that many of the black males that know better, they tired of fighting. They feel like the black men, they hard-headed. They're not gonna listen. They don't wanna listen. They think they know everything. One thing that I can say about women, man, women that get on the phone with 3, 4 women, they have a conference call going, girl, what you think I ought to do? Oh, he did this. Man, we prideful, and it costs us all the time. It costs us sometimes, you know, it costs us in relationships with our romantic relationships. It costs us, you know, with our children. It costs us sometimes our freedom, and sometimes it costs us our lives because we're so damn prideful. We got to get over this notion that asking another man for help or advice is a sign of weakness. We got to get over that damn notion. We got to get over that. I do not understand for the life of me. Look, man, if I ain't never had money before, and all of a sudden I come into money, and I know you've had money, and all the things that I'm trying to do, you've already done, I'm gonna come to you and say, man, I'm about to buy some marble, dog. I'm finna freak this motherfucker out. I'm finna put marble everywhere, nigga. It's finna be on. I'm putting marble in the bedroom. I'm finna put some marble in there. And you say, dog, I don't think that's a good idea. And here's why you shouldn't do it. Because when you put marble on, you don't put marble on floors. You put marble up top, not on the bottom. These are things that I learned after I took my first loss on a real estate deal back in the early 90s, the very first house I bought. I never lost money on real estate since. Every single house I've ever purchased, investment I've ever made with homes, I've always won because I learned pretty fast. And so you learn that you don't put marble on the bottom, you put it up top. You put marble, you put granite, you put it on countertops. You don't put it on the floor. If you put it on the floor, maybe you could put it on the entryway. Because as little as you can put on the floor is the best as possible, because it doesn't matter how much you put on there. You can put $500,000 worth of marble on your floor, and when you get ready to sell it, when you mark that line about that marble, you're not getting more than $5,000 for that marble. If you have a pool in your backyard, it doesn't matter if you have a $100,000 pool in your backyard. Your pool is not going to count for no more than 10% of your house. I mean, not 10% of your house, but $10,000. You're only gonna get $10,000 off that pool, the value of that pool. I don't care how elaborate it is. You're only gonna get $10,000. So if I've already know you've been there and I talked to you about this, somebody who's already been there can tell you. If one of my friends call me and tell me they getting ready to build a pool and they finna spend $50,000, I'll tell them straight up, well, you know, when you get ready to sell, that pool is only gonna net you $10,000. You're only gonna get $10,000 back off that pool when you get ready to sell that house. These are things that men or people who've come before you and already done what you're trying to do. These are things that they can teach you. But again, a lot of us, we so damn prideful. Oh man, I tell him, man, I ain't got to. I ain't gonna ask him. I ain't gonna talk to him, man. You know, here, he put his pants on one leg at a time, just like I put my pants on one leg at a time. We go out there and we fall right on our damn faces because we're too prideful.
Well, you know,
so we'll dispel that whole myth. We'll get rid of that notion in the Man Up Academy. That's what it's all about. It's men, real men coming together, being true to ourselves, being authentic, you know, being reachable, being touchable, and being vulnerable too. Because you know, it's important that you know that you get in touch with that side, you know, because sometimes, you know, we think that we have to put up this big front, and then at some point, you know, pressure busts a pipe, and then we lose it. because we don't know how to respect the process. Being vulnerable is part of the process of being a human being. You know, at times you're going to be vulnerable. At times, you know, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be depressed. All of this is part of the cycle of being a human being. But oftentimes we want to skip that part because, you know, we're prideful and we got some bad information. Say, man, I wish like hell I could line up all the dudes who gave me bad information when I was a youngster and slap all their ass in one big slap. All their ass. They gave me bad information. There's only one dude, OG from the hood, gave me good information, and his name was Shine. But all these other dudes giving me this information about how you got to break a chick to make sure she the right one and make sure she loyal and all this, man, that's the most stupidest shit in the history of advice. Talking about breaking somebody to prove their loyalty. That's stupid. And when you become a man, you realize how stupid it is and you don't have to front. When you become a man, you realize how stupid it is to see dudes doing things that are detrimental to the neighborhood and you're not saying anything about it because you feel like, well, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I did the same thing when I was younger.
Well, you know, I get a lot of my good advice from people that made all the wrong decisions, you know, because you learn, sometimes you learn from people by doing the opposite of what they did. And you can't, if somebody gives you advice and they did it, you can't say, well, you did it, so it must be okay for me to do it. They're really saying don't do it because they know the consequences, and people don't understand it that way, you know. So, I gotta go to bed and I gotta get on this flight, man. But I look forward to it. You know, I want everybody to check it out. Go to themanupacademy.com. The code for the free month is free month. That's month with a T. I saw somebody wrote free month. It's not free month, it's free month. So that's one word, not two. So type in free month, one word, not two, themanupacademy.com, and you can join us in these conversations. You can ask me questions if you want. You can ask Willie questions, and we're going to bring our expertise, bring in other men, and pretty much give you something that's better than or as close of a substitute to what a father would give you, in the sense that you'll have multiple male role models that will lead you down the path to happiness, success, fulfillment, and everything else. And also those ladies and mothers that are struggling, understanding the men in your life, we can probably help you out a lot with that. So that's why we developed the Academy, because we need an academy on manhood. Companies manufacture products that they believe to be top quality, that are going to achieve a certain goal. We want to manufacture men in the Black community, and that's what we created this platform for. So it's good seeing you, man.
For sure, man.
All right. And everybody have a good night, and I will see you guys soon. So go to themanupacademy.com. The code is free month. That's one word. Talk to you guys soon. All right. Peace.
What the haters talking about?